All right, we're here. We've been waiting all weekend to do this long Labor Day weekend. Uh, Knowles 31, Bama 17. We're gonna watch the tape. We're gonna break it down as it happens. Just real quick, just in 60 seconds, what does this ball game, this opening 2025 campaign ball game, what's it mean for Florida State?
Oh man, that's hard to put into words. Just it it shows a different. This is definitely a different team. It's definitely a different mindset around FSU, and it just blows up everything. Where there's a new excitement about FSU that it feels like it's returning. Like still got a long ways to go. It's one game, but both we didn't think this was going to happen as far as what they did, but I think FSU did. I think FSU was very confident going in the game, but I think it's a massive shift as far as the way people view these guys. Because obviously, I was around a lot of recruits after the game, and some were shocked that I think some of them probably came to the game just to see Alabama, and they thought like, okay, it's going to be a good game, and Alabama's playing, and Alabama's probably going to win, and they were shocked, but in a good shock way because now it gives them a new view. I had kids texting me that didn't even go to the game, Rico, that were like, I got to get over there.
Yeah.
Something's going on. So it's a
What is
change
it?
of just of
Yeah.
everything. The feeling of what FSU is, it has changed a lot when you win a game. And I felt like from the start, like I didn't think it would happen, but I felt
Mm,
like if they won this game, it would move the needle, both from a recruiting standpoint and from a national standpoint of how people view FSU,
yeah.
just on the team they're playing. I don't think a team they on their schedule moves the needle the way a school like Bama would, that people look at it because you look at the talent they have. So I think it's a massive development, and certainly there's going to be certainly an upstick in recruiting, no doubt.
So with no further ado, let's hop right into the action here. Got
Yeah.
condensed game. Let's see it.
With a dislocated collarbone. So Richard Young, who was the prize recruit a few years ago, will carry the ball to get things started for Bama. Earl Little Jr., who just made the tackle after a
I
6-yard
just like how we were
gain by
competing
Young.
as far as contact.
Play
You
action.
know, when you look at the
Simpson's
contact in
first
these
pass of the
games,
year is complete
it
to
felt
Jeremy
like
Bernard.
our kids were
Collarbone. So it's going
physically
to be
farther
a
along
bit
than
of
we were
a running
last.
back by
Felt
committee
like we were
approach
winning
here
towards
for
the
Bama.
contact. I thought Bama did a good
Second and
job of
7.
opening drive,
Here's
moving,
Simpson
moving the sticks a little
trying
bit.
to extend the
But
play.
it felt like when
And
we
he
made
tucks
tackles,
and
we were
runs
not
as he
successful.
strides
You got
out.
to give credit to Coach Storms. I said
Sitting at
Coach Storms will be on the
366 pounds. Here's your
he's going to be
32nd.
evaluated based on how this team looks. I think early
Simpson
returns, this team looks pretty
looking
strong.
for an option and trying to reach
Short
out,
there,
but
so we
he
got a
is
4th and 1 coming
denied
up right
by
here.
the Knowles
DeBoer right
defense,
out of the
and it
back,
was
right
Harry
out of the
making
gate,
the
first
tackle.
drive.
Fourth
Yeah.
and
Go
one.
for it.
Richard Young straight
And
ahead,
we have them
and
stopped
the
here. That
extra
second,
effort
third is kind of
is
gifted.
what
We
is
have
going
them
to
missed
earn
this stop.
Alabama
Yeah,
the
we
Coming
first
they
back
down.
need
will finish the job.
yeah they needed somebody to come over the top to finish the play, and they didn't
244-pound
have it.
Daniel
They had too many
Hill
guys in
at
there.
running back as
But
he takes
even
it down
and
from
you see
the
this
40-yard
most of the
line.
game, a lot
Let's
of
say
this
hello to
first
Jayden
drive,
George. Good afternoon,
if
Jayden.
they didn't do a good job of spying the quarterback, because a lot of these plays
Hill
you
is
see
going to
where
be
the quarterback
tackled
gets loose,
for
but then
a
they fixed
loss.
that after that. They didn't have that
Florida
problem
State was quick to
much of
get
the game. But
straight
I think
onto
overall
him. Tony White was in the
they made.
box
I
for
mean,
the
you can
last
see it in
couple of
this
years.
drive,
Syracuse to
even
Florida.
this first drive where they score. They
35.
made it really
Again
hard
on
for
the ground
Alabama.
with
They really
Young,
had
who
to
gets the
really
pass
push to get
leverage and
these
surges ahead
points.
for a first down.
So
With that play
that's when I
call, that kind
started
of
to
tells you
sense
that
stuff
Ryan
like,
Grubb, the
okay,
offensive coordinator,
this
was
could be a
going to
little
go
different,
for
because
it.
this was very different. I think it was like a 16
Next
play
play
drive.
of the
Like,
drive.
so
It was.
they
Now,
re-
there was a
Moving
couple
the
plays where
ball,
we
and
got
this
gassed. This
time
being
it's
one of them.
Evan Riley, the
That's a hell of a
four-star
run right
recruit
there.
for
Probably got 16. Let's
2024,
look and see
who has
on the
played
slow mo
really
here.
well in scrimmages.
Yeah, they
10 for
blocked it
10
up. Backers got
times.
to fill that gap. He didn't do it. But it just felt like they
36.
kind of had the
Simpson
nickel and
picking up
dime their
pressure
way.
up
Now,
the
this
middle.
was a little
Simpson
disappointing right here,
trying to run
36.
for it,
This
and he
yeah,
happened all
catches it.
game where this
It was
guy was really
intended on the
scrambling, making stuff
spot,
happen.
and
So
he's
he
right at
caught a
that
lot of heat
line
after
to
this game, but
gain.
I thought Ty Simpson was really mobile.
Yeah, he is, and it's all about what I said on the first drive. The edges weren't setting the edge out there to contain that when he popped to the outside. They didn't have anybody, but they fixed that as the game went on. Now, he made some incredible plays, but it was more just he was just remarkable as far as finding a way to
look
get
at
it.
Little come down right here. This is what I was talking about, point of contact.
Yeah.
For running the alleys well for the most part, and then winning points of contact against Alabama, which I think is really impressive because we know what Bama's got. This was a great play design here. Barker got tied up. Got to stay outside and be an extra defender. They were 2-on-1 out there, so that's tough. So great execution by DeBoer. Went for it on fourth down, executed several third downs, but it's not like Bama just went down the field and just skunked us. They had to work. And so when I looked at that first drive, I'm like, okay, let's see what we do when we get the ball here. Now everybody in the stadium's looking like, okay, what do we get? What do we got right here?
Yeah.
And first play, and watch the reaction on the sideline right here. Talking shit.
Yep.
Getting busy on the sideline.
What up?
Sawchuck falling forward on contact again. This is what you want to see right there. You stay at your sticks. You're working in 2nd and 4. You're winning. And I'm sure Coach Malzahn's going to stress that. We get a penalty here. Now 2nd and 15. Drive killer. You get some of that back. You set up a 3rd and 11. And then we've got a squirrel getting loose.
That's what he does. Vertical threat.
Perfect ball. Any less, it's tipped. Any more, he overthrows it. Just a perfect ball, dropped it in a bucket. That's a 6'4" freshman, 5-star, I'm sure, dude. Bama's got, and Squirrel just took him to the cleaners.
Yeah, it reminded me of the play he scored on when he played at Tennessee.
He just look at the dead leg for the TD. He got Dalvin, he got Dub going crazy over there. So after his first drive, you're kind of thinking like, okay, these guys,
yeah,
they might have something to them.
See that in
the hey, drove right down the field. Watch this dead leg here.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody, if you're from the state of Florida, you know what this is right here. Watch this little mini dead leg.
Look at this block on the edge, right there on the edge. That's what set it up.
Fire that cameraman. That was terrible.
Yeah, Pittman did a really good job on that block, and then Thomas. Yeah, that's juice. That's juice. They call him Justin, but we call him Juice over at Florida State. That's what he is. He's full of juice.
I didn't think this was a catch initially, but I guess he got the hell of a catch. So,
yeah,
everybody that's trashing Ty Simpson can you throw that ball better than that?
No.
I don't know if you can deliver the ball better than that.
No, and it was a great play, and it was a great play with receiver because he slowed down. Most receivers keep going with their momentum. He stopped. They got him from Washington, for people that don't know. That's the guy that DeBoer brought over. He's phenomenal.
Barker was lost. Is that Barker 27?
Yeah,
Barker was lost on the touchdown loss there as well. So just schematic stuff.
Bernard
right there.
From Miami.
Yeah, Bernard's a dude. Bernard's a dude.
Did Barker take Hudson's spot? Look at this right here. Blow that
Yeah.
There we go. That's my boy. There's Jones. My boy right there.
That was one of the best plays of the game if you look back of what he did, because the design was really good, but he busted it up.
Where you at, Bama line? Look at this. This is just like under siege. Just everybody's needed the quarterback. Look at this. Off the edge. Great hands. James, great hands. Phil from the inside. Stun.
And he moved the chains here.
They missed the field goal, so now here's our drive. 3rd and 5.
Yeah, this is the one.
Remind you of 2022 when Jordan Travis started being able to work the middle of the field after not being able to do it for several years. Castellanos coming in game 1 against Bama, working the middle of the field on 3rd down.
Yeah, and these two plays are big right here coming up with him doing design runs, coming up. That one's just a breakdown, and he does some stuff. But he had some design runs here that set up the big play. These design runs are really big, and you got to watch how they're using the sweep, but how they're blocking it. They're drifting the ends out.
I think it was around this time I said they're going to run that fall motion. Now look at this.
This is the
look
one.
at this right here. Angie just get missing, keep the feet in bound. I mean, this is explosive Malzahn ball right here. Now I said here they're going to run that fall motion. They're going to swing a wheel route. And they're going to hit a sideline play. And as we get into the third quarter, you're going to see it. But they sold this so many times. They actually ran this same play in the fourth quarter again. So they saw something about motion with Bama that they love.
Yeah, they set them up because you see the three guard, the guard and the tackle. They act like they're pulling, and then they stay at home and they set up the wall. And then the other guys, they froze the linebackers, and then it was just Danzy after that.
Here's Deuce. So Deuce gets a huge block, frees the touchdown. We get the ball back again, stuff them, and then now we're driving. And at this point now, you're like, it's almost halftime. We look like a better team. At this point now, you start to really believe, like, oh, this could.
Yeah,
this
is what Usman. This is what Usman does right here.
And look at the 218.
Get in there, 55. What are you doing?
That's Bama players trying to tackle a man. Like carrying 5. Look at this power.
I love Deuce downfield blocking. He's already flashed on tape a couple times, and this is what Thomas does right here. This is what's going to change the whole dynamic of Florida State. This is what DJ couldn't do because he had cinder blocks for speed, and Thomas can stick his foot in and get going. Look at that. You don't even see where he went. Like trying to chase your cat around town.
Yeah, it's like I create him to a spider because he finds different areas and creases, and his burst is so good.
A big hit. Big hit.
It is a college football Saturday. All
right, new kicker. What do we got? 45 yards.
45-yard field goal.
Smackaroo right down the middle.
Yeah, Jake's been clutch all fall camp. I mean, that's the one thing you never heard anything. It was like he's been nearly perfect almost the whole camp, so that wasn't a surprise.
He goes Joseph. You get a little pop. He's on the ground. You're standing up. I like it.
Listen to this crowd on third and
I love the push that Darrell Jackson has shown this year on the line of scrimmage.
Look at the hats on the ball, Mike. Got 6 hats on the ball.
Simpson, after that completion, now time to pick his option. He goes.
Ooh, that was a big slipperoo.
Yeah,
the worms got him there.
FSU got lucky there. That should have been like a 15-yarder. And this one started pouring.
Simpson's going to try to run it himself.
Can we win on the edge? Yes, we can. Take him. There you go, 31.
As he is torn down immediately by Mandrell.
This is where the physicality, it just really felt like we kind of overwhelmed him here.
Tommy Castellano
just winning points of contact left and right.
As he slides down.
And this is where I'm just like, don't do anything silly with the ball. Just
they almost did. They almost did. If there's a snap that's coming up where it slips out of Pettibone's hand, and luckily Roydell was paying attention and he scooped it up.
As he finds a way
that first down right there just meant we were going to be able to take it into the half.
Yeah, this is it right here with the play.
And that's when it was just like, all right, we're done here.
Yeah, let's take it to the showers, guys.
All right, so 17-7 at the half. We get the ball to start.
I hate
this.
I hate this kickoff. Like, dude, just call it.
Yeah.
Don't run it out. You just cost your team. You just cost your team 10 yards. Like, good run by.
Get you 8 yards on first, Mike. 2nd and 2. I love that. Leads to good things. I think we're going to see a lot of 32 next 2 weeks.
Usman's a beast.
Set up the screen
and this is where he's versatile. Look at this drive. I mean, this is dang near 20 yards in 3 plays to 32. I mean, that's impressive for a freshman to come in. That drive stalls. Bama gets the ball. That's a big-time hold there off the edge. I don't know how you don't see that. He's run to the ground. But Jeremy Bernard, number 5, again, is just eating us up all game.
Yeah, he's good. He's really solid. But yeah, you're right. You call that hold. If that guy's not holding him, that's a sack. Great play, Juice.
Again, Juice put on a lot of great weight, too. He looks like he's 10, 15 pounds heavier in a good way. And this
Yeah.
is what I was playing with that fall motion. You knew it was coming, and it almost was a house call. He barely gets caught at the 5-yard line. Huge play.
Yeah,
Now the Noles are rolling. We're driving 17-7, and just you knew that wheel route was coming.
the concept was perfect because he delayed, and you have to factor for that guy in the middle, because if you don't, it's a big play.
Now pitch, Keziah Holmes, transfer to Penn State. I mean, he's the 4th running back to touch the ball at this. Look at that! Look at the dark sky in the background. It looks ominous for Bama.
They love, and the thing is too, they love running Keziah near the 10. That's where they use him the most. They love him inside the 10.
Florida State being physical.
Love
We're
it.
seeing him a lot more in the
24-7. I mean, it's looking real good at this point.
2nd and 17.
Look at that. That's I don't understand how that's not called there. That was like a chop block at the knee.
Yeah.
Right there. The right tackle gets whipped and then dives at the guy's leg, and they don't call it.
Yeah, because he's
got 2 or 3 first
And a
downs
really
off that
nice
crap.
rhythm on the throw that time by Ty Simpson. So you see Williams in the slot. He's going to clear
Yeah.
Good
this
co-
out and
good
open up
coverage by
area
the
and a
safety.
big route for Jeremy Bernard. Nice job
31's
catching
just
it
like, I don't need
and
a mouthpiece.
advancing,
I'm going to
getting
stick it in
some
the back of my
yak
hand.
after the
Back half of last season, he tailed off the wear and tear.
And this is what I'm talking about right here on this drive. It kind of tells the story where everything was so difficult for Alabama.
Here's your boy, Blake Nicholson.
Blake, yeah. Look how hard everything is.
Oof. God, this guy's all over Bernard. He's all over.
He is the
Blake in
one
coverage.
Alabama offensive player who has been reliable today.
Yeah, that dude's a baller. He's
All
going
right,
to be
bring
good.
some pressure here. 3rd and 15. This was the play right here.
Yeah.
If we recover this is an absolute blowout. If we recover that football right there.
Yeah. Problem is they just didn't have anybody left on that
Right up the
that
middle.
side.
He's trying to climb up in the pocket. It's initially a good
Just
blitz
didn't have
pickup by
anybody
Daniel
there.
Hill, but he can't hold on and
Tried to get there.
was
James
to
was
scoop
trying.
that up.
That's actually a great job by Bama lineman to be heads up, because that could have been the stupid score of 6.
Yeah, if he just hits it differently where it goes like straight backwards, it would have been a big one.
That's a terrible snap. Great job by the holder and the kicker to execute. That was a terrible snap. So Bama gets 3 back. We're up 2 scores now. And the game kind of slows down here. I felt like we got a little conservative here.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we're approaching the 4th quarter, and it just felt like we kind of slowed down a little bit. Big third down here. Thompson's running around like crazy.
This is a great play.
And he gets it. And then we get a 15-yarder, and felt like we should have done more with this drive.
Williams, who played at
Oh,
Alabama
Wardell.
with the carry. Florida State.
We don't do anything. We end up kicking. And great pressure. Look at that. Slamming down to the ground. What's up?
Brought down by Thompson.
That's a great
For Florida
delay
State's
linebacker
defense. And now a
blitz
3rd
in there.
and 17
He just
where they
sealed the
can
middle.
get after Ty
3rd
Simpson.
and 17, all the momentum. They're holding the shit out of James Williams again.
Simpson
He's got nothing.
forced to run it.
He's running around like a crazy man. Pursuit is awesome. So right now, 24-10, we got a chance to really ice this thing. And then, you know, the guy we bring in from Indiana, what are we doing?
Oh,
What are we
gosh.
doing?
There's so much wrong with that play.
Yeah, Rawls, you need to get the hell away from the ball. Lucas, you need to take control of that situation, and you need to field it. You know, you can't hit you in the feet. These are the type of plays that can lose you football games. This cannot happen in special teams.
No, you have to be decisive. And early in the game, we didn't see it where he let a ball go 12 yards backwards. He's got to come up and just be decisive at either catching the ball or get totally away from it.
And they're going to short pitch it to him.
Oh, great pursuit. Boom.
And he
Great
is forced
pursuit.
out of bounds.
This felt like we were battling. Here's another 4th and 7. I mean,
Yep.
Simpson
we got him. We got to get tough.
Just missed him.
4th and 7.
Yeah, that's just a really poor play by
Williams
by
was
Ty.
trying
That's
to
one
hold
where I
on to
will
it,
blame
but it's
Ty on that.
become really
That guy's
tough.
open. He could have just ran for the first down, I think.
Yeah.
But he didn't have a lot of those. He was,
Big play, big play.
that's what they got. They got those guys.
That was an unbelievable effort working against Mike Pettis. And over
Yeah,
You
that's just a big win. 57 got blown up, 22. That's one with real good on tape.
Yeah, Usman is not going to have many plays where he goes backwards, but and that's the one where
we wanted a shovel pass here. I'm impressed with the fact that Thomas didn't just. That's a very unselfish play by Thomas. He ate the sack. That was a shovel play by design, and this was a big play for Bama right here. It's where Bama really had some momentum here. It all goes back to bumping that chick. We had plus field position. We ended up getting stopped defensively. Defense throwed out, but then we didn't get anything out of it. We kicked the ball back. The Lord calls up a screen out here. Big number 80 goes down the sidelines with a big chunk. And Bama's feeling good here.
KJ's got to squeeze the sideline better on that. He didn't squeeze it.
There's Juice again. Juice all over the place.
Yeah, he's a baller.
Number 31. They squeezed through there. Great play. It felt right here like it was kind of inevitable that they get points. You're hoping that we could get away with just a field goal, but they had a great drive going. Here's Simpson.
It's a great play.
All the complaining about Simpson, it was time and time again he was escaping and creating. I'll be interested to see how he plays the rest of the way.
Yeah, that was a great design play there. Bad tackle though. Guy just missed.
And now they're doing ninja stuff, feeling good.
Doing the swan.
Yep, they're doing the swan.
You got to make this tackle. It's
Rawls again. Rawls had a bit of a rough day.
You got to make that tackle, Javier.
So right here, it's kind of a gut check. Bama closes the gap. They're only down a score. They've been outplayed badly all game. What do the Noles do in response?
Back to what he's always done best.
We go to Thomas.
Design quarterback run, and it's going to be
that's up a 3rd and 1. So now here, it's like you're trying to clock kill, but you're still trying to be aggressive to get another score. 3rd and 2, and boom. Look at the effort right here.
Yeah, they said he was down, but I didn't see his knee hit. So we went for it on 4th down and 1.
4th down. With everything going, I mean, that's a gutsy call there. We get it. Now we're rolling in.
2nd down and 9.
And here we go again. They've seen it again. Here comes old number 19. Just scooting. Just scooting. Never got him to the ground. He still walked. I was impressed with the physicality of our run game. And in 19, this is a track guy. I think he's got an ACC record in the 400s. And here comes Thomas. He's throwing with the shooting, and I'd like to see that ball a little tighter.
Yeah, that made me a little nervous when I saw the ball hop high like that.
But the execution and the control here was awesome.
Look at this. Look at this. Look
at
this.
That's a study, ladies and gentlemen. That's all effort.
That was almost like a perfect play to kind of end the game, because that was a perfect definition of this game, of physicality, of what FSU did during the game.
Yeah, that was awesome. Awesome effort.
210-pound running back going right up the middle. Misses the tackle.
Run through one. Run through another. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Bama guys getting in there. Not enough.
Look at the FSU linemen going in there, getting any kind of push they can get to help them go a little bit further.
Look at Mr. Swagatosaurus Rex over there, shooting arrows.
Against this loaded Bama defense right now.
Boom. There we go.
With the reception for 9 yards.
This is going to be.
Bama knew they were in a football game.
4th down and 6.
4th and 6. We got the game iced, right?
Simpson.
Nope.
Look at that ball right there. I'm telling you, there's a lot of complaining about Simpson because people are too lazy. They're too lazy to see that this was a good football team on the other end that Bama was playing.
Yeah, you almost do for it.
Look at this, creating. I mean, this is like Josh Allen type stuff here.
What a play by Rawls here, right here. Just stick his whole body in there.
Body tackle. Gave up his body on the play. Got the stop. And now Noles take over. And here it's just 2 first downs to clock kill. We go to number 1. Look at them go.
That's
tremendous effort. This is just what we didn't have last year.
Yeah, we didn't have anything close to that.
I think the biggest cause for alarm, and there's a lot of things they're going to need to correct, but the biggest alarm right now
for Alabama.
Third down, 3rd and 9.
3rd down and 9. Here's Lucas.
And look at this play right here.
Yep, stay in bounds, dude.
Upfield and Jalen Lucas.
Stay in bounds.
4th down.
Should have dove inside.
He made up for it.
To the outside.
Yeah, he's
Just
fast.
barely. Game of inches, huh?
He's a jitterbug.
And then here we go.
How good is it to have ball back?
Been a while since we had Doak get rushed.
Yeah.
That was pretty to see.
It's only the 3rd time they've done it in history, so it doesn't happen a lot. But I think it was also warranted after what they went through last year.
Yeah, definitely.
It's
so
a
this
signal.
Is just something to kind of take in. Man, what a crazy just evening. I mean, it was a great weekend of college football. Personally, obviously, we're extremely invested in this game, and just to see that result. What's it been like in Tallahassee since that game has gone final? I mean, what's the buzz and what's the feeling in Tallahassee right now, and what's the outlook for the rest of the season?
Yeah, the buzz has been out just crazy. It's insane. I got there late to the game and just get near the end to do my thing, but it was just insane, and just it's the amount of confidence now. Going this game, I think fans were energetic, but I think they didn't know what they would have enough to do. But I think they were excited, but I don't think anybody expected them that they would look this physical and dominant. But overall, I think there's a lot of excitement. I think they feel like that if they get this kind of performance and effort and just execution and the schemes we went over it throughout the game, they called both coordinators called an incredible game. I think people are excited about it's like it's like we finally got it right, that we have the right guys in there to run what we want to run. And I think it all comes back to with Tommy, where you have a guy that is willing to give you that edge that you just didn't have. You didn't have anything like that. And I think overall this team has a lot of leaders, and I think that's the big thing they were missing that they haven't had even back when a few years back. I probably I go all the way back to when Jordan was there. They just didn't have the leaders on the team, and there's even more leaders I think on this team than there was in that team in 2023 when they won, had a perfect season. I think overall Thomas has really led it in a different way, and we were all critical of just when he said it, but it was kind of like when you think about it and you really study it and it gives you a chance to look back at it, you're like, you know what? It's like, I get why he did it. I get, because when they first came in there, even before Thomas got there and even before they got his commitment, they didn't really believe that, they didn't really have an edge to him. But when Thomas got there, he just changed it all. He immediately jumped in there. He had his comments and had his things. He led by example. Guys rallied around him, and then now you see more leaders taking their roles. So I think it's really just taken off once they got that quarterback position right. And then I said it from the start, once they got these two coordinators, I felt a lot more comfortable of how this stuff's going to look when they run it. But there's a lot of excitement. I mean, it's hard to put into words of just the amount of excitement. Obviously, the Tallahassee streets were pretty wild after that game. There was certainly people everywhere, but I think the excitement of the stand and what the standard is expected to do, I think is back as far as around people. Now they have to show it on a consistent basis for the full year, and show it against the teams that they're not, that aren't going to challenge them to the level of what Alabama is. How do you play against the lower level teams that you have more talent than? That, I think that's the kind of the next step. And then they'll have some big games down the stretch with Miami and Clemson and Florida. But I think overall the consistency of how they're going to play, if they're playing with that same point of attack, that same aggression, I'm not worried about how they call the game. I think the calling the game, that stuff will take care of itself. It's just about the execution from the players. So if they do that, this could be a special group.
Well, looking at the stats, I mean, Thomas Castellanos had 230 yards approximately because he had 80 on the ground, had buck 50 in the air, 9 of 14 I thought he executed everything. Had an 84 QBR, which is pretty solid. Averaged 5 yards a carry. He did have to eat that sack on that shovel pass that Bama did a great job blowing up. But what stands out to me is we had 6 running backs or offensive weapons, OWs, if you like that term, had multiple carries. I mean, we had Micah Danzy, Usman Kroma, Sawchuck, Jalen Lucas, Roydale Williams, and Keziah Holmes. And Keziah Holmes only had 2 carries, but he had a touchdown. Goal line style, big back, 220 pounds. So 6 guys, in the Mound Zone offense were touching the ball. I love that. You know my rule, man. It's 5. My rule 5. You need to have 5 scholarship backs. I say it every year. And the Noles have 6. And, we didn't even see Cam play. So they really got 7. You didn't even see Cam today. So I feel really good about this rushing attack. If our line can stay healthy, that's extremely exciting. Throwing the ball, you hit big plays to Squirrel. I thought Deuce had a couple of nice first downs. I love what Randy Pittman brings to the offense. We haven't even seen Landon yet. So, I mean, there's still a lot of things that you can see. If you look at the team stats, what really stands out is the rushing yards. 230 yards to Bama's 87. Bama only averaged 3 yards on the ground, and that's with a couple chunk plays from the quarterback. We averaged close to 5. Penalties, great the staff, only 4 penalties for 40 yards. A couple of those were pass interference plays, one which we had to commit. And, of course, we have the special teams we need to clean up because we had the one lost fumble. But, man, that was one hell of a performance by the Noles, and it really excites. Now, we have a couple games coming up that are going to be, games that we really expect to win by. But these are awesome. For where this program's at, to have a chance to play a lot of guys. We're looking at seeing Sperry. We're looking at seeing Brock getting in there. We're looking at seeing all 7 running backs touches. I don't think Castellano should see a second half. If he sees a second half, something's wrong. These are great opportunities for him to put a headset on, to be next to Norvell, to be next to Malzahn, and get some coaching in, and just really get some investment into the rest of the guys and kind of cheer them on. And I really want to see all these young defenders. I want to see Charles Lester get out there on the island, make something happen, DB. I want to see some of these guys get a chance to really spin. And these next 2 weeks are going to be an opportunity to do that. And, of course, we've got that Friday night, Lollapalooza, Virginia. Always got to have the Noles playing on a Thursday or Friday, Sunday morning, some wonky-donk-ass time. And then, of course, we'll get into the Miami game. But what a start for the Noles. I don't think many people saw that coming. We knew that it would be competitive. We figured they'd compete. But they just dominated Bama. They recover that fumble in the third quarter. This game gets way, way, way out of hand. And they don't muff the kick. Those 2 plays, this game probably, instead of being 31-17, realistically, it's probably like a 45-10 ball.
Yeah, and they were close to, in one moment, they were up 24-7, and they were close to getting it to 31-7. And you feel like if he got to that point, this could get really ugly. But I think I was impressed, too, just on the way they ran the ball. It wasn't your traditional way. There would be times they used Danzy. There was times they used, Jalen on the outside, and then there was some traditional ways where they ran it. But I just like the stunts and the stuff they did of how they ran their point of attack. But overall, it's just it's going to be a hard team to prepare for because of how they can attack you on a lot of multiple ways. And I don't even think we've seen a lot because didn't see Elijah Moore that much, hadn't seen B.J. Gibson that much, didn't see Landon. There's a lot still left on that table that they haven't shown. A lot of these freshmen, Camden Fryer, there's a lot of guys that we haven't seen, even on defense. You mentioned Charles Lester, maybe seeing more of these young guys that we've heard about.
What about the Twins? What about the Twins? You think the Twins
they will play a lot. I mean, there's no doubt they're going to play a lot. They have a hard time keeping those guys off the field. They're very good. But I like the rotation where they're just constantly rotating guys consistently. And FSU kind of duped a lot of people on when they released their depth chart. They didn't really have KJ Sampson on it. They really have some guys on it. And then when you watch the game, Shaheem Brown's playing almost a starter minutes, reps. So I think they did a good job of disguising a lot of what they're doing. Not that they were hiding, but that might have been their different reason. It might have been those guys were really good in practice, or at the end they felt like, hey, they earned the starting job and they put them on the depth chart. But I think overall it's certainly a pure team. They depend on each other. They rotate these guys a lot, even with DB. We saw a lot of rotation there. Linebacker, I saw a lot of rotation there. You saw Stephon Thompson get a sack. You saw even the other guy, Air Herring, force a fumble.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different things that we saw impact plays where they're using a lot of different guys. So it's not just you have your few stars. I mean, they're using a lot now. These next 2 weeks, I think it's the chance to expand what your 2 and 3 is going to look like. I think they have an idea what their ones are who are close to it, maybe the twos as well. But having those 3s and 4s, who's going to be the guy that you're going to use from a depth perspective when you get into the meat of the season. I think that's what these 2 weeks are about. I can't wait to see Kevin Sperry. I've heard so much good things about how he looks and how he runs the offense. So I kind of want to see it because he's got a similar style to the way Thomas plays. He plays similar to Thomas because both of them were former running backs out of high school, so they know how to run the ball. There's certain guys that play quarterback that know how to run, that have that natural run feel. I think Thomas has that. I think Kevin does as well. So I kind of want to see how Kevin looks, running this system.
Well, we're going to see it. When's the last time you see for the Noles?
Yeah.
That dope rocket, we wondered if it was going to be loud.
It was loud. It was loud. Yeah. Shout out to the FSU fans that were there. I certainly wasn't there till the end, but their fans, even somebody told me, like, with the fixtures of the stadium, it seemed like it has a chance now keeping the noise in where it's even louder because it's more compact of the way they did the seating and the architect for it. So shout out to the FSU fans. They did a job. But shout out to Mike and all the changes he made because they took a lot of risk of moves they made. Mike took he had to restructure his contract. Gus took a chance on, following, a guy that he trusts in Mike and being the OC. And then, just different pieces. A lot of people you had to sacrifice things, I think. And we talked about they're going to have to hit on these players. They're going to have to hit on these transfers they got in. And so far, we've seen a pretty solid, strong hit rate. And I've said it before, if they win this Alabama game, it's really going to set up their season where they can do some special things. They got a lot of work still to do, but I think overall this was like a dream scenario for FSU to start the season because they not only won, they went out there and left a solid impact of people having to come up with stuff of why the other team wasn't good in the game. I mean, so I think that kind of speaks to what FSU really showed in this game.
Yeah, ESPN scrambling. I saw Stephen A. and Cam Newton and all those guys. They had a big, long segment today about what's wrong with Bama, what's wrong with Bama, Bama's this, Bama's that. I mean, and that's just a natural reaction, right? I mean, obviously, Florida State is not in the SEC. They're not in the favor of ESPN. They showed the snub several times during the actual telecast. They just got to dig it in and twist. But, I mean, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. 2022, Florida State, 3-0 against the SEC. Okay? Beat LSU, beat the Gators, and beat Oklahoma. 2023, beat LSU again, whooped their ass, beat the Gators in the swamp by 2 scores with a backup. And so, yeah, we'll take our lumps 2024. Gators came in, dope, whooped their butt. One of 10 teams to do so.
Yeah.
But here we are, Bama, first game of 2025, and whooped Bama. And it could have been a lot worse, really. Looking at the film, it could have been a lot worse. So you look at that total, I mean, shoot, we're 6-1 against the SEC, 4-0 against the SEC West the last, 3 years. So when the latest no victory over the SEC happens, the instant reaction is, oh, my God, what's wrong with Bama? Simpson's terrible. We just watched the film. I saw a guy who's very mobile. I saw a guy who's making throws on 3rd down, making 4th down plays. We had to come up and make Superman tackles to prevent the guy. The guy looked like Josh Allen, in a lot of ways. I'm not saying the guy's going to be a Heisman, but the instant reaction to bash Simpson and bash Bama, I don't know if that's going to pay dividends because this Bama team's going to win games. I wouldn't be surprised to see them win between 8 and 10 games this year. And they're going to play a lot of these other teams that you got way up there. I mean, they're going to play your Georgias. They're going to play your LSUs. So a lot of these teams that you're saying are good and it's just Bama's bad now, we're going to see because this Bama team's going to play them. And we're going to see
Yeah.
if Bama's terrible or if maybe, just maybe, Florida State's back on standard. I mean, we've had some seasons where people are kind of getting accustomed to see Florida State lose, but 2022, this was a 10-win team. 2023, this is a national championship caliber team and had a Heisman had he not broke his leg last game of the year, game before last of the year. So, maybe this is Florida State getting back to standard, not so much Bama's bad. And it's just it's like clockwork to see ESPN scramble and just crap on Alabama because they didn't come in here and do what they were picked to do. 2 scored, faves on the road in Doak. I mean, that should have been enough to piss everybody that's ever put on Garnet and Gold. I mean, I ain't never seen a bitch come into Doak and be a 2-score favorite. I ain't never seen it. And I'm 40 years old. I ain't never seen that. So
and I told Rico right after the game, he's like, everyone's like, what are they going to say on Feinbaum? It's like I knew exactly what they were going to do. They went after the team that didn't think performed, but sometimes it's just the team is every year is different. Now you're in the NIL era. Every team has a chance to prove your team and drastically change your team. And so they did that. And I say the same thing I'm going to say. It's like, just worry about yourself. You worry about what you're doing. I heard the same thing when they beat LSU back-to-back years. They beat him in New Orleans, and then they beat him again in
Brian
Atlanta.
Kelly's bad. He's terrible. Brian Kelly
he's
was
awful.
bad on Saturday night, was he? He went in and that game was for the pink slips. Brian Kelly got it done. LSU looked pretty damn prepared.
Yeah, and I think the main lesson for this with FSU is, don't listen to the outside noise. Focus on what you guys need to do and get back to work every day. And like I said, if you have to do what you have to do to make it undeniable, that's what you have to do. Because it's FSU, you're not going to be judged the same way as these other schools are judged. So that's just that's the life of being a team that is very intoxicating with a lot of fans and a lot of people and a lot of national people. That's why I think we heard the stuff with the ESPN, the way they presented it, like, oh, is Bama bad, or are they something wrong with them? So way you disprove that is you just go out there and you go in there and perform against the top teams that you're going to play in Miami and Clemson and Florida. If you do that, then you don't have to worry about that stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm super excited to see the rest of the season, how it pans out. I think Brian McFadden said something that was really powerful in the post game. He gave a devotional on Friday night before the game and followed it up. Coach Norvell brought him in front of the team in the locker room, and he said, look, this success is like perfume, man. He's like, you can wear it. You can wear this praise, but don't you dare drink it, because if you drink it, it's poison. And that's exactly the message needs to be for Florida State. We all know what last year was. We all know what happened in the Taggart years. We all know that Coach Norvell's had a couple rough years and a couple good ones. And at this point now, I think we've reached a stage of humility where we've been down, and there's a chance that we can be up. There's a chance maybe this year we'll be up, but we got to go prove it every day in practice. And that was the message. He said, enjoy this tonight, but Sunday you guys got to get to work, get in the film room, get ready, get your body right, because we got another ball game. And it was the same message if we would have dropped this game, which many people thought we were going to. My biggest thing was, if you were to lose this game, compete, put your all out there, but don't lose it twice. That happened a couple years ago against Notre Dame. We lost a heartbreaker. I want to say it was overtime or close to overtime. And we turned around, and, of course, we lost to Jacksonville State the next week because the kids were crushed. And so now that you have a little bit of success, what are you going to do with it? Well, I expect us to come out and have a great game on Saturday, and follow it up with another great game on Saturday, and have a follow-up with a great week of preparation. And we go to Charlottesville, first ACC game of the year, and we come out there with a victory, and then we just roll right on down, because that's what Florida State needs to be about. And Coach Norvell, great guy, really, really like him. He's paid a lot of money. It's his job to keep these guys focused. You got 2 very good coordinators, and you got a football team, Mike, that looks like they got some talent. So I think the expectations have raised. I think that there's some real promise in this season. Miami looked great on Sunday. We look great on Saturday. We'll see what the Gators look like, because they, they're not going to be playing a high school up here in a couple of weeks. So we'll see, man. It looks like the state of Florida, the football is up. So it's
really good.
It's anybody's season. I just think if we stay focused, I really like what we saw.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to like, you look at the teams that have been good for Mike, 10-win seasons and the 13-win season. It was a total bought in of the whole team. Those teams were all bought in, and I love what BFAD said, just because he's been through this stuff. He knows what the Nole standard is. And I think these guys understand what the Nole standard is. And I always go back to, recruit that they lost first. They lost Devin Carter. That's Dexter Carter's son. And then he came back. He started going to practices. I'm like, why are you going to practices? Like, because I'm liking the stuff I'm seeing. I'm liking the energy I'm seeing. I'm liking the fight, the hunger. Even with the see Jay Lamar, he's 4-star running back committed to Georgia. He told me, he's like, point blank, he's like, FSU's going to beat Alabama. And I was like, really? And this is from a guy that's not even invested in your program. And he said, I've been around these guys. I've seen the way they work. I've seen the way their hunger is. It's different. This is a different team. The coaches are different. The mindset's different. It's like they're going to win. And so there's a different edge to FSU now with this group. And I think, like I talked about sacrifice early, but I think Mike did a really good job of saying, you know what I'm doing with the play calling, I need to give it to the guy that is the expert or one of the best in this. And that takes a lot of humility to do that. When you do that and you say, hey, you know what, this guy is going to help us get to where we want to go, and you see a massive difference. And now you get to use Mike and where he's really good at, and that's CEO, where he can manage his players. He's a very good connector with players. And I think we're seeing that with across the board, the way he's viewed and the way they look at him. These guys will run through a brick wall for him. And overall, I think they really hit on a lot of things that they need to change. And not everything's going to be good. Thomas is not always going to look like that. There will be guys where they face adversity, but I think when you have a bought-in team, you can get through those times. So I think it's going to be a team that's fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely. They definitely look super improved. Really looking forward to. It's kind of the opposite of last season was like obligatory, like you watch because it's your school and you have to.
Yeah.
But this year, or it just feels like this season, can't wait to watch them play football again. I mean, and I would have said that if they would have lost to Bama but competed really well. The fact that they competed and they were so successful and dominant just extends that even more. But that's all we got for tonight.
Yeah.
This was a lot of fun. I look forward to doing it. I think the next couple of weeks are going to be some of the most important shows we do because we're going to be able to cover a lot of the different players when we break down the game. So 31-17 could have been a whole lot worse for Bama. Noles dominate them. The national media dubs it as such, as a domination. It's what it was. Noles go 1-0, 6-1 versus the SEC the last 3 years, 4-0 versus the SEC West. So ESPN, keep running your slander shows. The Noles keep beating the SEC. It's the Mike and Rico Show. We're signing off week 1. We will be back next weekend covering the Noles again. You guys have a great week.